What up, Algebra 2 students? All right, I'm the captain of the ship, okay? And you guys are my crew members. And if I piss you guys off too much, then I get a mutiny. So, in order to um, circumnavigate a mutiny, I'm going to do this. Today, I'm going to ask you if you want me to adjust the due dates. Yeah, you're going to make me walk the plank, sure. I want to know if you guys need me to adjust the due dates to assignments, if you guys need me to give you more chances on the assignments, and also what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go and find out exactly which problems I need to fix and how to fix them, and I'm also going to do some tutoring. And that's all I'm going to do today. I'm not going to cover any new material. I'm just going to go over all the old stuff. Sound good? All right. So I don't mind. So Jenna's saying adjust all the due dates, push them all back. Sophia, I think, was it Sophia? I don't know. You guys are chatting way too quickly for me to keep up. But someone else is saying, no, don't adjust the due dates. Just give me better explanations and greater clarity on your assignments that you want me to do. I don't mind adjusting the due dates at all. I have no problem with doing that, and we can do that. I actually would say let's do that, but keep in mind that if I push things back too much, you won't get through what you need. So I don't mind pushing things back, but as long as I don't know, as long as you get your stuff, or as long as we get through all the stuff. So I can't push too much stuff back. My hands are kind of tied in that. You know what I mean? All right. You guys also realize, and I don't know, I guess I can tell you the secret now, is I told you guys that I'm very upset when you guys submit late assignments, and I have not ever docked you points for late assignments. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
So I'm just, even if you're like, I submitted it late. Yeah, but it's fine because you got full credit for whatever. All right, anyway, Bradley, you keep sending me a list of all of these things, of all of these problems that you want me to do, but other people keep talking. So can you copy and paste that list again, and I will do that. And I'll tell you what, today is going to be open game. Yeah, go for it, Bradley. Why don't you turn on your mic? All right. Bradley, I can't hear you.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So basically, I don't know. I feel like, or I think everyone else is having this problem too. But
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But I feel like I'm doing them right, and then when I submit, I get on yesterday's homework, I got a 1 out of 16. I got the answer where I was like, yes or no, do you get these instructions right? That's the only one that I got correct, because I don't know what kind of form or if I'm supposed to put one digit in front, or if I'm supposed to represent it as 100% and then that percent, or what to put it out of, and then.
So I think that one of the things is some people don't like Khan Academy, and I know that you guys think, what does Khan Academy have to do with this? Khan Academy is this I'm not even going to go into it because I know you guys are familiar with it already, right? And some people don't like that because what they do is they, but the one big advantage that Khan does have is, did you fall down? Okay, the one big advantage that Khan does have is Khan has a team of programmers, and you can put in a range of answers and it still get it correct, right? Whereas I don't like Khan Academy. I really don't. It's not my thing.
Sucks.
Yeah, some people like it, some people don't. These two people like it. This person over here doesn't. So what I'm saying is, what I have to do instead of Khan Academy is build the problem myself from scratch. And what that does is it means that I'm prone to making answers or forgetting to give you a wider margin of error or all of that kind of stuff. And maybe my formatting could use some work. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this? Bradley, let's take a look at that specific one. Is it yesterday's assignment you guys are all upset? You're having trouble with?
It's well, it's not really like a specific assignment.
Yeah.
It's like we just need examples to see like what kind of format to put them in, or like because once I do like one problem, I pretty much have it down. I just need to understand what kind of like context you wanted in, and
then maybe,
yesterday I got a 0 out of 16. I'm not really
maybe
sure.
what we do is this. I go through today. I'm going to go through all. I'll look through all the homeworks and we'll tackle a few problems from each of them. So that way you know the format that we're going in.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
All right, we cool with that? All right.
Yeah.
I can't remember your name. What the heck's
It's all
going
good.
on with
It's
me?
only right there.
Acacia, give me the piece of paper over there. No, the stapled one. The big stapled packet right there. Yeah, there we go. All right. And here's one of the first problems I want to cover. This one was, here's one of the first problems I want to cover, and this might not answer your question about formatting, but I did have another student come in and ask me, well, how do you do this problem? Okay? So,
What is this from?
this is from the homework. This is number, what is it? Which problem is it?
Wait, are you talking about for me?
Yeah, number 7. All right, so this is Expo. Sorry, the pen doesn't work. Let me go see if I can find one. Hold on. It's Expo 3 Part 1 or something like that?
It's Expo 3 Part 1.
So Expo 3 Part 1, number 7?
Yeah.
7.
No, 6. Well, I mean, like, it's 8 and 9. I already answered number 7. But it starts off on 7.
Oh, no, but what you didn't understand is how to get number 7.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like number 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Okay? I'm just helping somebody out. And then after that, I'll go to Expo 6 Part 2. Okay? I'm going to jump over a lot. All right. So this problem, Expo 3 Part 1, I'm given a graph. And I'm given only 2 points. I'm given this point over here at -1,
0. Nothing.
no, what?
It's nothing. Like, it's like...
Oh, no, it's 0, 1, right?
Oh, you're talking about... Okay, yeah.
I just want the points that I am given.
0.1.
0, 1.
And then on the other side, it's 2.9.
2, 9. It's not 2.9, it's 2,
2.9.
2 separate numbers.
Yeah.
Got it? All right. Can you guys see all right? Is that all right? All right. And I appreciate, I'll tell you what, I will do my best to try to get back to you guys on your emails much quicker. All right? No, I know I have a lot on my plate. That's not really a good excuse. I'll do better. Cool? No, seriously, I'm not upset at you guys, and I don't know if you guys are upset with me, but I'll do better. I'll make sure to help out more. All right. I think that the easiest way to look at this graph is to put it into a table. So let's make a table. Occasionally, make sure you take notes. You do well when you take notes. Okay. So I'm going to put this into a table. 0, 1, 2, 9. Cool. Actually, I'm going to make this table a little bit different. I'm going to make it like, oh, by the way, this is x and this is f of x. Okay. 0, 1, blank space, 2, 9. And what goes in this blank space? Well, I'm not sure what goes here, but I know what goes here. All right, 0, 1, 2. I made a jump. I made a gap. Got it? So when I told you to find, in order to find A of our problems, you take the ratio between this and this. You take 9 divided by 1, right? Which is equal to 9. And we're cool with that, right? But really, what I wanted to try to figure out is, I wanted to figure out the number to go from here to here. And it's the same number that goes from here to here. So in order to get from here to here, I have to multiply by some number. In order to get from here to here, I have to multiply by that same number. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
3.
right, so 3. Because 3 would be the perfect number, because when you multiply by 3 and you do it again, that's
9.
multiplying by 3 2 times, or 3 times 3, which is 9. Does that make sense? So since I did a double jump, I said, okay, well, A squared is equal to 9. That square comes from that double jump part. Does that make sense? So then A is equal to the square root of 9, which is also known as 3. Now, question 8 and 9 on your homework. What was that?
So like in the previous question, given the graph and incomplete table, find f of 7.
Oh, okay. That's really easy.
Yes.
All you got to do is this. You want to find, we already established that the equation is f of x equals 3 to the x power, right? So all we got to do is plug in a 7 in for x.
So 3 like over
Yeah, so it's 3 caret 7.
Yeah.
So let me see. Siri, what is 3 to the 7th power? $2,187.
2087.
What's part 9? Or question 9?
It's gonna be in previous question, given the graph with incomplete, like find negative 4.
3 to the negative 4. You don't understand 3 to the negative 4? 3 to the power of negative 4. Okay, it's 1 over 81, or 0.01234557. Interesting, I would have thought the next number is 6. But, got it? And yes, Sophia, you're absolutely right. It's actually 1 over 3 to the 4th power, which is also known as 1 over 81, which is also known as 0.01234557. Sounds like the way my kid counts. All right. That was not hard. That was, from the beginning, that was kind of a warm-up. You want me to cover yesterday's homework, which was what? Expo functions part 6, question 2? Okay. What is part 2? Is it the section of okay. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to look up Expo 6, and we'll just go through and do a few of these problems. Sound good? I'll tell you what. Do you guys need me to remove the due dates? Or can I just say, I'll accept it if it's late, and I won't even dock you points? Is that all right? All right. All right, you want me to move today's till Mondays? Okay, I can do that. All right, let's see. Let's look at the... I'm looking at Expo Function 6, Part 1. So, we're looking at Expo 6, Part 1. Here's question number... Let me take a look. Which, okay, I see. What is the, okay, I see, okay. All you gotta do is this. All right, so the last one. You want me to do the last one? All right, the last one. I'll do the last two. How's that? Which one do you get more money with? Annual interest rate of 12% or 11.3% compounded every second? Ooh, okay. All right, so here's what you do. The equation for annual interest rate is P times 1 plus I over N to the NT. Is that correct? I don't know. I'm just making this up. Or trying to remember it off the top of my head. I think that's it, right? So, if it's compounded annually, then N equals 1. Right? That means I'm only looking at this and evaluating it one time in the year. So, in that case, it's just A equals P times 1 plus 0.12 divided by 1 times N to the 1 times 1. Are we cool? So this is at 12% annually. Right? I haven't done the other one. Yeah, no, this one's easy. This is just P times 1.12. Cool? In fact, you could have done that in your head. That doesn't really make it hard at all. Gino, do you understand what's going on? Okay.
Well, I haven't gotten to this part yet.
Yeah. You need help with Expo Part 3, so we're on Expo Part 6. You're like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
All right. Can I take a pause for a second just to explain what's going on to Gino? All right. Gino, I explained to you at one point in time that the general function that we're looking at is f of x equals c times a to the t, or c times a to the x power.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what we did was we applied this to the idea of money, and you can go back and watch the videos for this. We applied this to the the idea of money, and essentially all we did was we changed the letters. So this C is the same as that P. That's the same thing. A was we changed this to the A. That in the previous problem that was A, but now it's this crazy thing inside the parentheses. And then over here, n times t, that's our x. Actually, it's just the t that's our x variable, and then this n is something different. N is the number of times we're evaluating the interest on a certain investment we make. So for example, if we are only evaluating it once a year, then n equals 1. If we're doing it monthly, then n equals what? N equals, if we're evaluating monthly, then n equals 12, right? If we're evaluating every second, then n equals some big old number, right? And it's not 525,600. That's how many minutes. So it's 525,600 times 60. That's how many seconds are in a year. Right. So big number. Okay. Do me a favor. You should be able to calculate out how many seconds are in the year. You just take 365 times 24 times 60 times 60. But here, let me do this. Siri, how many seconds are in a year? Oh, there we go. 31,315,56952. So, if we want to evaluate the second part of this column, which says the interest rate is going to be 11.3% at, and set this n equal to, at this n, at n equals this number. Then we just plug in those values. A is equal to p times 1 plus 11 or 0.113 divided by n to the n times 1. So you just got to tell your calculator, plug that number into your calculator, and see what you get. 1 plus 0.113, actually, let me do this, clear, 0.113 divided by 31556,952 equals, plus the number 1 equals to the 31556,952. And I get 1.1163. We cool? Does that make sense? So that's P times 1.1163. So the other part was P times 1.12. So you have P times 1.112 or 1.12 versus P times 1.1163. Which one is a bigger number? Right, obviously this is not bigger. So then the answer on my homework says choose the one that says 12%. And then what is the percentage rate of, okay, and then the last one is this. The last one is this. How much, what is the percentage rate, what is the effective percentage rate of this answer? Well, I can see how you guys are getting freaked out. Well, the effective percentage rate is, do you see how I can say the effective percentage rate for this is 12%? Right? Because you just take this piece right here. You have the 100% plus the extra 12%, 0.12. Well, over here, the percentage rate is 11.63%. Because it's just this number minus 100%, or 1. Does that make sense? Compounding this thing, compounding this number every second is essentially the exact same as compounding your interest by this time at one time during the year. Right? We know that. These are the same. So, when I ask, what percentage increase did we get? Well, did you increase by 111.63%? No, you actually increased by 11.63%. The 1 from here is the initial investment. So the interest, the extra, is 11.63. It's this. Well, this number turned into a percentage. 0.1163 in a percentage is 11.63. And yes, Lucas, I believe that with the amount of variation or the margin of error that I gave you, you're allowed to give me that answer. But you know what? Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think that maybe my margin is too small. So let me do this. Let me open up that margin of error. So if you take it again, it should work now. Okay? All right. Did that clarify things? Does that make sense? Well, no. All you got to do is you don't got to redo all of it. You just got to, or maybe you just didn't do that problem, or didn't do any of those problems, so you didn't understand what's going on. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll make sure to upload this thing as soon as I hang up the class with you. Yeah, I guess I covered this, but I didn't give you guys the way to solve these problems. Yeah, I don't mind helping you out with that. Let me see. Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't I do some more homework then? Sure, Lucas. Which part 2, please? Okay, let's take a look at that. Lucas, which one do you want me to regrade? Actually, let me ask Lucas first, and then we'll take a look at part 2. Chino, did you have a question too with how to do certain things? You can go back. You don't need to stay with Func 6 or Expo 6. Lucas, which one did you want me to regrade? I don't understand what Bradley's talking about. What's all over the floor in pieces? Your brain? My speakers. Oh. Oh! Did it break? Did you drop it?
Just threw them.
Oh, you threw that? Are you upset?
Because he has to redo all of the.
Because you got to redo the homework? Okay. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what. Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. And don't tell anyone I did this. But then again, I'm recording this, so it's kind of pointless to say that. Let's see. What was this? This is Expo 6. Expo 6. Here, Expo Func 6. Part 2. Oh, this is part 1. This is Expo 6 part 1. Is that what you guys say? Okay. Expo 6 part 1. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Expo 6 Part 1, no one has to do. Because everyone got a 33 out of 33% on it. Or points on it. Is that all right with you? Okay. Are we calm now? All right. No, that's fine. I'd encourage you to redo it. I think that, to be honest with you, I probably should have made you do it, mainly because that's like the one that is almost directly applicable to your lives. But I'm also willing to, go and help you out with that stuff. Yeah. All right. You want part two? Part two has to do with I give you an N and I give you an I, and I want you to figure out what the number is. Okay. That one I think is really easy. All you got to do is I say, what are the instructions for it? It says, let me just read the instructions for part two.
Wait, so we don't have to do the Expo.
You don't have to do Expo 6 part 1
It's gonna show up as 33.
because now you have a 100% score on that problem. All right, so we're looking at part 2. So that was yesterday's assignment. I'm gonna look at part 2 and see what it's all about. Determine the monthly interest rate. Interest rate when compounded and indicated number n. Oh, okay. Give your answer to the 1,000. Oh, okay. So all you got to do is this. Let me just check. Acacia. Do you have any questions? All right. Let me take a look at something real quick. All right, here we go. So for this problem right here, n equals 12 and I equals 7. I think all you got to do is plug A equals, oh shoot, I'm using the pen that doesn't work. A equals P times 1 plus I over N to the NT power. And essentially, I just need you to take N equals 7 and I equals 7, N equals 12. So 1 plus 7 over, or 0.07 over 12, because it's 7%, right? To the 12th power. So .07 divided by 12 plus 1 to the 12th power Oh, wait, I don't need the 12th power thing. So it's 0.07 divided by 12 plus 1. So you just need this number. And just plug that right in. You just need the A. The A is the monthly growth rate. In context, it's the interest rate. It's the thing that you need to, it's what's inside the parentheses. That is the interest. That's the effective interest you're doing. You're doing this interest effectively every month. The fact that there's a 12 up there is accounting for the fact that we're measuring this thing in years. But every month you are accumulating this interest right here. Or you're multiplying your principal by 1.015 or 1.0058. if you wanted to figure out, well, what does this mean in terms of like, I could either do this 12 times. I could multiply p times 1.0 or 1.0058 12 times, or what I could do is I could multiply. Siri, he didn't make sense. Hold on. 1.0058 to the 12th power. .07186. Sorry, this doesn't make sense. 1.07186. All right. So what I did was, this right here represents how much interest you are evaluating every month, times 12 to the t. But I don't care about the 12 to the t part, because I want to know how much interest you're evaluating every month. When I raise it to the 12%, that would be the equivalent interest rate if I were to do it over the whole year. So you can see that you get a little bit better than just 7%. Because if 7% were here, it would just be 0.07 as opposed to 0.07186. So if you're doing this, evaluating this more often, then you're going to get more money. Do you understand that concept? Do you understand this concept? Or are you totally lost with what's going on?
I'm not really paying attention.
All right. Here. Let me explain this to them real quick. If you put in $1 million into an account, got it? And I were to evaluate this, if you put in $1 million into my savings or my account, and I say I'm going to give you interest of 50%. So in 1 year, it occurs. In 1 year, it would be, you would have $1.5 million in that account. Does that make sense? So here's my question that I'm going to ask you. Okay. Principal equals $1 million. So 1 times 10 to the 6th power. Got it? 1 with 6 zeros. Cool. And what I'm telling you is, I'm going to give you two options. I'm going to charge an interest of, or I'm going to give you an interest of 50%. So that means whatever you put into the account, I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to add that to your account.
Basically half.
And you'd be like, sweet, that's a good deal. Or I could say this. Or what I'll do is I'll give you interest, and I'm not going to evaluate it once a year. So that means you have $1 million in the account. In this case, you have $1 million in the account, and then on December 30th or 31st or whatever, you'll still have $1 million. But on January 1st the next year, you'll have $1.5 million. So I'm only going to evaluate it at the very end of the year, the last second, when the thing, right before the ball drops in the New York City, you'll have that much more money. Or I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I'll do. Or what I'll do is I will evaluate it 10 times during the year, so a little bit more than a month. Every, like a month and a few days, I'll take a look at this, and I will give you 5% more money, or I'll charge you an interest of 5%, but I'll look at it 10 times. Which one would you choose?
To make more money?
Yeah. All right, see you guys. Do you understand the problem?
Yeah. I think maybe the 5%, right?
So,
Because 5% is every month, right?
this would make me more money. It's a bigger number, right? Or maybe you're thinking to yourself, I don't see the difference. If you're doing 50% here or 5% 10 times, 5% 10 times is 50%. See what I mean?
I don't get what interest is.
Interest is if you let me borrow your money, I can take your money and I can invest it into this. Say I'm a stock market kind of guy. I can take your money and use it to make more money. But I need to borrow your money to do that. And so if you're going to let me
Basically,
borrow
like-
your money to make more money, then I'll give you a certain percentage more of the money
You
that
give the money back plus interest.
Yeah,
So what? 5% of a million would be a million times 0.5,
0.05 actually.
and then you'd subtract that, and that's how much they put in your account from a million.
No, I would. Oh yeah, I guess that would be how much extra I put inside your account. So,
I'd have to do all that math to answer your question.
well, no. But I mean, here's what I'm saying is, you would do this one, because this, right? If you want to take, here's your $1 million, and it's going to grow by 1.5 over here. Got it? And that's the first scenario. The second scenario, here's your $1 million, okay? And I'm going to grow this thing by 5%. Okay? Or I'm going to grow this thing by 5%, and I'm going to add that to my original here. Got it? So, like, let me explain this. I'll do a better job. Here's the first scenario. I take your investment, I divide it by 2, so that's about half of that thing, right? And I add that to your thing at the end of the year. So you now have $1.5 million. Good. I'm happy, right? And then I guess my second question is, or would you like me to take your $1 million and add 5%, but I'm going to do it 10 times? And if
Probably that.
when I drew it like this, you would say, well, it doesn't make a difference, right? But I still don't entirely get the context of what A is, the interest rate. Okay, wait, let me finish my explanation because I'm on a roll here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5%. If I take 5% of this and add it, and then I take 5% of this again and add it, 5% of this again and add it 10 times, that's going to be the exact same as this thing, right? Right? Does that make sense? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5% of this and add it, okay? And then I'm going to take 5% of this and add it. So this square over here is going to be a little bit bigger
It gets bigger and bigger.
than the previous square. Because I didn't take 5% of this, I took 5% of this and the extra money that you made from the last month.
So technically, I was right that that's the best one. Yeah.
And then I'm going to take 5% of that from the plus the extra that you made from this month. Does that make sense? All right. So it would take your principal and multiply it by 1.50%. That would be in this case right here. Or I could take your principal and multiply it by 1 plus 5 over 10. So this is, or I'm sorry, 0.05 over 10. So that would be P times 1.005 to the 10t. And this is the interest rate that I'm evaluating for you, but I'm doing it every like month or so. I'm trying to think, did I explain this correctly? Oh, I'm sorry, no. I'm giving you the interest rate of 50%, but I'm doing it over 10 times. So that's why I said 0.05, because it's actually 0.05. It's 50% divided by 10. This is the effective interest rate I'm adding every month. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, no. These people over here are in Algebra 2 as well. They're just sitting right next to me. So I guess the question is, I'm going to ask you this. Do you want me to take your money and multiply it by 1.5? Or would you like me to take your money and multiply it by 1.05 10 times?
That.
10 times.
I would do the 1.05 10 times.
Because it actually ends up being more.
Right. Because 1.05 times, 10
Just
10
like how
times.
the 5% 10 times is going to be more than 50%.
Right, because what you're doing is you're doing, like you would think, oh, hey, if I were to just take that original box and do the 1.05 of the original box,
You would think like it would just add up.
then you
to
would
the
think
same
that it's
thing.
going to add to
Yeah.
50%, right?
But
It's
it's
going
not.
to do it because I did it 10 times, right? But
But-
it's not, because you're taking not just the original box, but the original box plus the extra money that you made and multiplying that by 1.05. And then the next month, you're going to take the original box and plus the extra money that you made and multiply that.
It's
So
gonna
you'll
pile
have
on
a
top of each
little
other.
bit more piling on each time. All right. I hope that made sense to you. And I hope that explained what the answer I'm looking for is. I'm looking for the 1.05. Because this is how much interest I'm going to evaluate at over the course of the time period, like over every month or something like that. Wait, what's not fair, Bradley? You can't what? Dude, I just gave you a 33 out of 33 on a thing you did. On a thing you didn't do. You can calm down. Go for it. You still don't get the A, Sophia. The A is this number in here. Remember, the equation is C times A to the X power. So the C is your P, the A is the stuff inside the parentheses, and the X is 10 to the T, or 10T in this case. The A is how much interest you are evaluating. So like, let's not say 10, but let's make this a 12 instead. Okay? The reason why I chose 10 is because those are easy numbers for me to think in my head to divide. Let's make it a 12. So I can literally say every month, because if I take a year and I divide it into 12, I would get every month. So what I'm saying is I can either evaluate your thing at, let's make it 60. I can either evaluate your thing and give you 60% interest over the year, or I could give you 5% interest every month. Because 60 divided by 12 is 5. Take the 5% interest every month. So I changed up the problem a little bit because I want to say a month. Okay, I just said, here, let me make a new problem. If I gave you an interest of 60%, I can tell you, hey, here's your options. You can put your money into my bank, and I'll give you 60% every year. Or I'll give you 5% every month. The A value is, and how did I get 5%? I just did 60 divided by 12. 60 divided by 12 is 5. So I would be multiplying your original number by 1.05 as opposed to 1.6. But I would be doing it every month. Which one is better? And the answer is 1.05% every month is better. Because what you're doing is you're evaluating it based off of the previous amount. And the previous amount isn't just what you put in, But the previous amount is what you put in plus an extra bit of money that you got from interest in the previous month. Does that make sense? So this is part 2. What I'm looking for in part 2 is what is inside of the parentheses. That's all I'm looking for. All right, let me look at the question for part 2. Here we go. Let's look at this one. So, here. Ten divided by 12. .1 divided by 12. Yeah. All I'm looking for is what's in the parentheses. I'm checking the answers now. Cool? Yeah, and that was a question I made up as far as like I was trying to make a point with the 60% versus the 5% every 60% in a year or 5% in a month. Take the 5% in a month. Because after 1 month, you'll have 5% more. But then after 2 months, you'll have not only are you doing 5% more of your initial investment, but you're doing 5% more of your initial investment plus the extra income that you got from the previous month. Does that make sense? And yeah, to be honest with you, if you invest like $100 to begin with, this trick will give you 18 cents more or something like that. And you're like, whoop-de-friggin' do, 18 cents, right? But then again, if you invest $1 million, then that's $180. Who doesn't want $180? You know what I mean? I guess the question, really what this is to be honest with you, this has to do with mostly with biology. And the reason why I introduced it as money is because that's kind of what draws people. But you should watch my video on E and the concept of E that I recorded last week Wednesday. Or no, earlier this week, Wednesday. All right. We cool? Are you guys happy? You guys all upset at me? Seems like you guys are upset. I feel like I took the time to like help you guys out and it made you guys more upset. Yes, I will move today's assignment to when? Monday? Is this today's assignment, the one we're doing, Expo 2, Func 2?
It's Expo 6 Part 3 is today's.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, I'll move them both to Monday.
So Part 2 and Part 3 are on Monday.
Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, because we're trying to do some work this weekend. Get caught up.
And to be honest with you, I think that mainly what the problem is not the due dates, it's the fact that I kind of got behind on my lectures as far as like not...
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
Sometimes.
I usually try to lecture something and then have 2 weeks to do it. But like I've been lecturing and then like it's due like today or the next day or something like that. And the reason for that mainly is because I mean, it's not that I haven't been lecturing. It's that, like, I don't know, I cancel the new thing I was gonna cover, and say, hey, let's all do tutoring today. So like today, this put me a day behind. But that's probably because I was just being overzealous when I made the schedule and said they can learn all this quickly. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll adjust some due dates. Why don't I go look and I'll adjust some due dates so that way it kind of sets our schedule up a little bit better. It's not necessarily the due dates that you guys need adjusting, but what you really need adjusting, I feel, is that you need to do. You need me to not cover it as quickly. All right, Rat 1, page 6. Traps, page 2. Oh, Lucas, are you asking me if I intentionally raised your grades on Rat 1, page 6 and avoid math traps part 2? If I gave you a better grade than you deserve, why bring it up?
Hint, hint, don't bring it up.
But I'm just saying, I mean, if I gave you a worse grade than you deserve, bring it up. You know what I
That's
mean?
like the kid that's like, if the teacher forgets to.
No.
"Here's the
Hey, look,
homework," you don't bring it up.
Lucas is awesome, and I love him. He's great. But I'm just saying, in the future, if your teacher gives you a better grade than you deserve, I don't know. It's up to you. Because morally, you should say something.
Your classmates would get hecka mad. I know that.
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
fact.
But your classmates won't be appreciative if you say, "Hey, Mr. Daldy, did you say that you were going to give us a midterm today?
Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
expecting a midterm today."
Exactly.
Then it'll be like,
Everyone's just gonna look at you like, really, really.
yeah, no, yeah, and Lucas is not, no, and well, and it's fine because like I'm not trying to be like, well, all I'm saying is I did that mainly because I saw some assignments, I saw certain assignments that I didn't write correctly, and I figured on questions that I, like there were a few quizzes where I said need answers for this thing, or I realized my mistakes, and on those ones I usually just give the points to the students, even if they didn't take it, because I didn't give you the ability to take it correctly, and I know that it frustrates you when I don't, or when you guys think you're getting it right. I think I'm getting it right. I think I know how to do this. I just can't put in the freaking answer into the right format. So this is my kind of way of saying I'm sorry for screwing up. Here's points. So that's why I did it. So yes, I did add points to your
That's your leverage.
thing. So I have a few tricks up my sleeve. Yeah. And Lucas, I think personally that it's cool that you're on top of it like that. But you might want
In the
to
future.
think about the consequences if you go into college and do that. It's not necessary. I'm just saying for the future, But I mean, I do that too. I actually, my teacher didn't have us turn in any homework for like this whole semester because he's been sick, really sick, and like at some point I was just like, I'm gonna ask. So I raised my hand and I said, I have this packet of like 40 questions that I solved, and you never asked for it. So did you want me to turn that in? But I asked my other classmates. I said, "Are you guys all right if I ask this question because I need to make sure I know what I'm turning in?" And there's only 4 students in the class, so it's they said, "Yeah, it's fine," because the teacher deserved to get it, and I didn't want to cheat the teacher on the homework that he assigned. So he just never asked for it, so we never gave it to him. So for a while we were just like, "Hey, you guys, don't say anything about the homework because he didn't ask for it." And so I was like, fine, let's not do it. I just kept doing it, but I didn't turn it in.
That gives like so much time for like all the other students.
Right. But then they gave other time for the other students. And so at some point, the other students were like,
We already did it.
well, yeah. One guy was like, we already did. Another guy was like, yeah, it's fair because even though I didn't do it, I should have, I had enough time
I
to
have
do
more
it.
than enough time.
And then one girl was like, yeah, I just give up. And she dropped the class.
What class is this?
This is Physics 651.
That sounds fun.
It's
Sounds so much fun.
graduate level electrodynamics second semester at UH.
That would kill my brain.
It kills mine. I'll be honest with you, man. Like the reason, like I'm telling you guys, I got a bad rash on my hand. The reason why I've got such a bad rash on my hand is because I'm stressed out. Why am I stressed out? Because I've got midterms coming up. Like I've got tests coming up. I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's gonna
Wait.
be hard.
You're in school right now.
Yeah,
For what?
a master's in physics.
Is that what you want to pursue? Physics. You want to be a professor?
I want to be a teacher, which I am a teacher. Don't get me wrong.
But you want to be next level teacher?
No, I don't even know if I want to be a next level
Physics.
teacher. Like I like maybe community college. I taught at the community college for a while. I don't even know if I want to be like a professor at school or something. I agree with Lucas. Popeye says the same thing. I am what I am. That's all that I'll be. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Lucas is saying I am what I am. That's all I am. I'm Lucas, Mr. Chan. But anyway. Well, I'll tell you what, Sophia, if you want to do whatever the heck it comes into your mind to do, then you better have the tools to be able to back that up. And the tools that you need to back that up most likely have to do with English and math. Well, not necessarily English. If you're from Japan, it's not like your English scores are going to be great, but I mean like language and math. So,
Yeah, because I've had like a kid from like Europe, who was like in Russia and stuff like that. When they came here, did the best in math.
oh yeah.
Their language is bad, but math, is something universal.
All right. Okay. Yeah, this is after class. I mean, I'm done. I haven't been lecturing on anything new. I've just been trying to calm you guys down. You guys all right? All right, cool. Talk to you later. I'm going to stop the recording. Probably should have stopped it a while ago.